Is it just a case now that if Russell Martin's going to save his Rangers job, doesn't matter what the game is, doesn't matter the competition, he just has to win?
Yeah, and he could do avoiding embarrassing defeats.
That always helps.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from this game tomorrow night, because Genk have kind of struggled. They've kind of got off to a really sluggish start in their own domestic campaign this year. But, you know, they are an experienced European side. You'd think they'll be an awkward customer for Rangers. But, you know, Rangers' biggest problem right now is Rangers. And, you know, how they adapt, and, you know, are the players courageous enough to come out of their shells? Are they struggling with the environment that they're in? Is the shirt too heavy for a few of them? And you're going to get answers over the course of the next few weeks. You'll get some answers tomorrow night. But again, you know, they'll be going into this game. From the last I heard yesterday, day before, sales in terms of tickets not looking particularly healthy. So you wonder what sort of atmosphere is going to be inside Ibrox. I think one of the key ingredients for what Rangers have enjoyed about Thursday nights in this competition has been the full houses, the electric atmosphere, you know, that feeling that they're almost a goal up in the tie, just by the fact that, you know, they've got 50,000 people behind them.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be the case. I think if Rangers are going to get some momentum going this season at all, they're going to have to build it themselves, because the fans are fed up already. The fans are beyond fed up. So in order for them to reconnect or re-engage with their team, they're going to need to, the onus falls on Russell Martin and the players to put something on that gives them that reason to believe that there could be something there, regardless of how bad things have looked over the first few weeks of the season. Now, the question is, have these players got the character? Has Russell Martin got the character? Well, we're going to have to find out, but it will need to be on a game-by-game basis from here on in. He's certainly, I'll give him this. Russell Martin, you know, I heard, I don't know how much I believe that, but I heard him saying that he's actually quite not enjoying the experience just now, but I can't remember exactly what word they used. But just saying that it gives him an opportunity for growth to come through this, if he can get through this bad time. Two things about it. One, interesting that, you know, even say that you're taking something out of a period like this, that's obviously trying to spin the positive. But if he's telling the truth, that's interesting. The second thing is, the way he was speaking kind of lends more weight to the belief that he's been told no plug is going to get pulled here. You're in for the longer haul. There's going to be no knee-jerk reaction. I think the board have made a decision on this as much as they can, because everything will go by a game basis. At the end of the day, it usually does. But I think there is a determination there not to bow to the demands of the supporters on one front, but secondly, and probably more importantly, I think there's a sort of a belief that Rangers have chopped and changed and chopped and changed and sacked and, you know, hired over and over again over this last period, and they've not been able to build anything because of that. Now, I agree with that in principle. I think what I would say, you need to make sure, if you're going to throw your weight behind somebody, make sure you're throwing your weight behind the right man.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that was, you know, I'm not sure there's anything. Well, I am sure there is nothing in Russell Martin's CV up to this point that tells you, yeah, he's the guy to do that. But they've made their choice. It looks like they're going to lie in their bed. Or they've made their bed and they're going to lie in it. But I add the caveat that if things get too much worse, then they'll eventually be left in a situation where they've got no choice. It would really help Russell Martin's cause if he could put out a team tomorrow night which puts on a competent European performance and takes a result. It doesn't need to be, you know, tiki-taka. It doesn't need to be world-beating stuff. He just needs to put on a solid performance, have players organised, playing in their best positions, give yourself a chance of winning the game, And if Rangers can get off, and that's what I'm saying, and I'll repeat it again about this tournament, absolutely great start for Celtic in terms of if you can get a point on the road and you win your home games, you're going to be fine in this tournament. You should be good for at least a playoff spot to get into the last 16. Rangers showed last season you can achieve better than that and get straight there because the points are there to be taken. And this ordinarily shouldn't frighten Rangers. This should be a game they should go into at home thinking, yep, we can get off to a fly here. The unpredictability comes from the fact that the performances have been so poor and from the fact that the environment isn't going to be the typical Ibrox on a Thursday night atmosphere that they've enjoyed and they've kind of flourished in. So a lot to consider tomorrow night. I'm not sure what you're going to get. But if Rangers can find a way of winning that game, again, a bit more breathing space for Russell Martin. But most importantly, from a Scotland perspective, we need coefficient points. So that's why there is an onus on Celtic and Rangers. When they get home games in this competition, the more they can win, the better for everybody. And it certainly be, as I said, it will certainly give Russell Martin a bit of breathing space if he can find a way to get 3 points in the board tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Before we wrap up, very quickly, some comments on the game tomorrow night. Rambo says Genk are terrible this season. Rangers should destroy them. Scott though says Genk are much better than that was from Rambo.
Has Rambo seen Rangers yet?
I mean, Scott in the next comment says Genk are much better than results so far. Tough game for Rangers. GM's confidence says 5-1 to Rangers, although there's a couple of people, Scott again, pointing out that Livingston's the bigger game for me, and GM as well. I'm more worried about Livy away than Genk. It is a huge few days for Russell Martin.
5-1 for Rangers was one of the shouts there.
That was GM.
I'm not sure that Rangers have had 5 shots in goal in the last 2 or 4 days.
I think that literally might be true.
Look, I'm being a little bit facetious. Russell Martin is a manager with a whole load of work to do. It does appear, as I said previously, Daniel, that he came in with these ideas and a load of new signings, 13 new arrivals, and they were all getting shoehorned into the side. And there seemed to be this sort of philosophy, right? Everybody that was here can step to the side. Here come Manu guys. Well, game by game, defeat by defeat, or draw after draw, these guys are falling back by the wayside, and the sort of tried and tested are getting filtered back into that team. And that's probably no bad thing in terms of tomorrow night, because if it is your Raskins, your Diomandis, your Souters, your Taverniers, your Butlands, these guys have gone the course and distance in this competition. They know what's required. And again, it comes back to the fact that the guys that were brought in to replace them look like downgrades. So it makes perfect sense. And it's probably the first bit of clear thinking there's been in a while to say, right, do you know what? These guys really aren't ready. So, let Nico Raskin play where Nico Raskin wants to play. Let the guys play in the positions that they're familiar with.